we should talk about the Spurs and Wemby, right? I guess because it's just with summer league and the discourse there.
Yeah, should we have buried Wembanyama at like the hour 40 minute of this podcast, or should we?
It might be 2 podcasts at this point because I thought we were only going to go 90 minutes, so I might split it up into 2. Look, he's that guy, and I said this to you before we started, like actually recording. I said I actually didn't see his good game, quote unquote good game. I only saw the performance everyone was dragging. I came away from that. I was just like, he's going to be one of the greatest players that we've ever seen.
This might be my favorite take of yours because I have not heard a single person, one, who only saw the first game and didn't see the second one, and who based on that first game was sold, which is like, I don't think you're wrong, but like the level, the way that speaks to how great Wembanyama might be is unbelievable to me.
You just see what he's going to be able to do off the ball.
So you weren't bothered at all? Or you must have been bothered by some of how he looked in the first game.
What were you concerned about? And I'll tell you why that's not a concern.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, so I mean, it's not a revelation. It's like he looked sped up. He looked like he got pushed around a little bit. He got tired. The number one thing, and this, if I have a concern about him,
he got tired after taking his team all the way to the finals, like a week.
Right. Yeah, and he's been on like an incessant media tour for like 18 months. Who could be tired? Britney Spears accosted him. Like that'll wear anybody out.
That thing was so stupid.
So stupid.
Just on both fronts. I mean, by the way, if anyone wants to assign blame, it's on security. Both sides. It's not on Wemby. I don't even know if it's on Britney Spears. It's just the whole thing was stupid. But come on. What security team allows someone to get that close? And if you allow them to get that close, it's because you should know it's Britney Spears who like runs Las Vegas right now. So what are you doing anyway?
Well, she clearly doesn't run it because she approached a bigger star apparently and was swatted. So the Wembanyama thing, the thing that I left the first game thinking most about is that I'm really unclear on what you're supposed to do with him as the Spurs offensively. You know what I mean? Like, do you really want him dancing out there with a live dribble creating? Like, is he a pure 3 offensively? Is he a guy, nobody posts up anymore, but do you have him do duck-ins like 10 times a game to just like steal buckets? And I don't know what you do with him offensively. And I was always kind of unsure about that. And that first game, the second game, he looked great doing literally everything. So I was like, well, I still don't have an answer because apparently you could do whatever you want with him. But the first game, I was kind of left with the impression of I'm not sure it's going to be easy to figure out the best way to use him on offense. That was my main concern, if that's even a concern after the first game.
Right. And it's a good concern to have. One, I think what people need to mistake is that it might be similar with the Spurs this year because they don't still have like that wild advantage creator. But like summer league is the time, like that's how we decided that Desmond Bane was going to operate on the ball more because you're giving guys opportunity and agency they wouldn't normally have. Mm-hmm. So yes, you're going to try everything and you're going to have him running the offense. The ease with which he got to his jump shot, and it was just like, okay, here would be my follow-up question to that. Did you know early on in their careers how you were going to use Kevin Garnett or Kevin Durant offensively? I'm not comparing him to either of these players. The Cavs probably still don't even know they're going to use Evan Mobley offensively, and we're still over the moon about my verbiage today has been off. Pencil it in stone, through the moon. So I'm just watching that. I'm just like, yeah, okay, it doesn't need to be like super efficient or pretty all the time. Like, look at what he's just, the theory of him. And that's how I approach summer league, by the way, or non-NBA games. And it's also how I approach a lot of rookie and sophomore seasons. There's no science behind it. I want to make that clear. I don't think I'm operating on some higher level, playing 4D chess against everybody else. The theory of Wembanyama, you could see it in practice where it's like, we're having a different discussion. He had pockets of time where he wasn't making an impact. The dude, that's going to happen when you're young, I think, on a team that you just don't have like any familiarity. Like they're not going through a real training camp. So it'll be different once he gets to the regular Spurs. So I'm just like, and you have other guys that are like also matter here on that Spurs team where you're talking about like Blake Wesley specifically. So I watched that and just the theory of him shined through in practice, even when it didn't always look pretty. And I'm just like, I was kind of wondering why it took a little while for his passing to get going in that game. But like, we still saw like, he can, when it might be more reactive at this point, but the reactions make a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. So I'm not just it wasn't that I wasn't all in on Wemby to begin with, but I found, and I know Twitter is Twitter, but like the amount of people that weren't being facetious when they were talking shit was just like, are you fucking stupid? Like, this is to sit down and shut up, stop farting out these dumbass takes.
Yeah.
This guy, I'm prepared to be wrong, and we can circle back to that, but I came away of the impression of just like, this is going to be one of the greatest players that we have ever watched in the NBA.
So ultimately I agree with you. I just think so even in the bad game, because the good game is sort of, it speaks for itself. Like,
it's so funny that we're talking about these singular games because
it's all we got, Dan. We got 2 games, and it's against like maybe a handful of guys that will actually play in the NBA.
And right, I still haven't seen him do it against Marquette on a Tuesday night in January, though. So I remain skeptical.
I need to know what Florida A&M is going to do against him. No, so even in the bad game, you're right. Like, he made some passes on the move where it's like, well, no one that tall has ever made that pass. Like, just I've never seen that before. And like really niche, stupid things that no one cares about. Like, just when he throws a chest pass, like, it looks, he's coordinated and he throws it like with pop. And it's not one of those things where like when some other 7-footer gets the ball at the top of the arc and he has to like make just a simple pass to the wing, you're like, oh shit, he's gonna get, that's getting stolen. Like, no. He moves the ball like quickly with purpose, with coordination. He's in control of all of his limbs, which seems physically impossible just because of how long it must take for a signal to get from his brain to his extremities. Like, he's able to do things physically that are just like literally in the first, few minutes. It's just like, again, with the passing or with, the weird, like his first bucket in the bad game was like a lefty and one that was just like, I've never seen anybody that big do that. And so there was, even in the bad game, there were a half dozen things like that. And then the good one was just, he had a couple plays in that one that it was just,
I've not seen a second of that. Give me just the biggest takeaway. Like, one of the plays, like the defining play of the good game.
Yeah. So in both games, I'm pretty sure he blocked a 3. Just like the guy was squared up on him and thought he was further away, too far away to bother it, and he just blocked the 3. So that happened in both. But the play in the second game was, I think he beat some guys down the floor, and there was a long outlet, and he caught it like around the block, but probably outside the key. And there was at least 2 guys around him, obviously smaller, and he turned and dunked it like from a distance that is not a distance you dunk from. So I had never really, that jumped out and he just like sort of reached over the top. Like, it wasn't like I'm going through anyone. It's like, I can hold the ball at a height that you cannot bother me. So that was one. And the other one, he had a putback dunk with 2 hands that was basically flat footed, which was just like, well, this seems unfair if we're not going to need to jump to tip dunk misses. So those were the 2 in the good game that really showcased, like, yeah, he does different stuff. Like, we're going to see several things this year that have just, will be shocking because we've never seen it happen before. So that's cool.
I'm so excited to watch him. Have you thought about what is like the over under on the number of national televised games the Spurs are going to get this year?
Ooh.
Because it's just like, even if you like, because Zion, I guess part of it at this point, it's in part because of his health. But like, even Zion was just like, okay, came into New Orleans. It's just like, they wouldn't be a market draw or whatever for the national TV. And like, they haven't had a shit ton. I guess he had a bunch his rookie season, but like, if we were to set the over under at 8, none of them are going to be enough. I want to make that clear. Like, is that too aggressive, or is that not ambitious enough?
I think it's definitely, well, think of it this way. I'll bet you that opening night, like, will be one of the featured games, whoever the Spurs are playing. Like, that's, that'll be one that is probably going to get a national coverage. And then, like, honestly, I think they're flexible enough now where it's like, if he comes out hot and is putting up crazy numbers, and whether the Spurs win or not, I don't think that's halfway relevant to how often they're going to be on. Like, if he's great, then they might be on 25 times. I don't know. They might get like a Warriors level national, or Lakers level, national TV thing. Cause like he is unique in that he's just going to do stuff you won't see anyone else do. And as like an entertainment product, that makes him like a singular thing, he's just going to fascinate like people that don't care that much about basketball. Like, you got to still be interested in, like, look how big that guy is. Look, like, and he can do all this cool stuff that, smaller, like that. I feel like it's just a universal draw. It's almost, it's like it looks wrong that like someone can be that big and can do the things and is as coordinated as he is, right? Like I don't know how else
He's
to
so
describe it.
right that it looks wrong.
Yeah, or something. It makes you think. I don't know. It's like if you ever watch those weird AI generated videos where like, oh my god, that is not what my eyes are used to seeing. It's a little bit like that. He's an AI generated basketball player.
Yeah, and the other thing that's intriguing about the Spurs, really quickly looking at their offseason, I think they made I would have liked to see them been more aggressive with their cap space, which they still have, by the way. But like, you got Reggie Bullock, who can actually play for you if you want him to, and their core is not just Wemby. And we'll do a podcast where we go through the young cores. Like Devin Vassell's like a real guy. I'm so high on Jeremy Selwyn. It's just like he might be there after Trey Jones. Like, is he just their second best bite at the facilitator apple right now? I think maybe Wemby if you want to throw him there.
I think it's worth it's definitely that should be the approach. I think for them is like, let's find out for sure if Sohan is this guy. If Julian Champagne, Spurs fans are gonna. The Julian Champagne is like someone that everyone is pretty high on too.
And look, I was late to the party on him, but like he's a real 3-and-D guy, and he can do some stuff. I actually had a segment about him. It was like he looks very comfortable going with his right hand or his left hand. Can he finish with his left hand? That might be a question, but like this is just it's a 3-and-D guy who's more than just a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah, I agree. And plays super hard and is super he's got kind of that like a little bit of an edge.
His rebounding translates to the regular season. Like he's just been like super opportunistic on the glass, but how much of that is okay? Well, look who he's playing against. You know what he kind of could be like is like, what if he was like supercharged Kenrich Williams right here?
Ooh, that's a universal fit.
He's getting a statue at that point because Kenrich Williams is getting a statue in OKC. So immediately.